you probably can go onto our website, which is 7000men.net, and it'll show you everything that we do. The next thing we're gonna do, I'm not gonna be up here. I'm finna get this to G Money. How many of y'all heard of G Money? Okay, how many of y'all heard of Archie? Okay. Okay, well, there's a reason. I'm finna give it to G Money.
He called me G Money, but my real name is George Willis, guys. But I'm G Money because I own Club Monies on Pioneer. Y'all know what that is, right? And for the white guys that don't know what this is, it's right next to Whiskey River. Hey, but did you know that Whiskey River is now 90% black on Thursday? I still haven't went in there. I want to go in there. I want to see what they're doing. Because I thought, Whiskey River play a lot of country music and all that. And I'm wondering what the brothers doing in there. But anyway, it's all good. I know Ernie, and I'm just making a joke, because Ernie has been in business here in Macon for a long time. And when a man is that successful, when he speaks, you need to listen. When somebody is doing something that you wish to do or have accomplished the goal that you wish to accomplish, if they speak, I suggest you listen. Because one thing I know, I don't know everything. And I'm not a follower though. I'm a student. I will listen to you, I will watch you. Some people will teach, everybody can teach you something. Some people will teach you what not to do. Some of your friends, they go out and do something stupid and then say, why they treat me like that? I would suggest don't do whatever they just did. I was born and raised in Atlanta, on the west side of Atlanta. I'm a Bankhead baby. Okay, but Bankhead, anybody know anything about Bankhead? Bankhead got a lot of different areas, don't it? Woo! When coming from downtown, if you get, I grew up, I went to Douglas High School, so when you get to Hightower Road, and they done changed the name now, and you cross over on the right side of Bankhead was Bourne Homes, Hollywood Road, Hollywood Court, Perry Homes, all of that. On the left side was Crescendo Valley, Waterford Road. I lived on the left side. I grew up with Martin Luther King kids, Ralph David Abernathy, Andrew Young. I lived in the most exclusive black neighborhood in that day, but I couldn't wait to cross Bankhead. I don't know what it is about the hood that make it so attractive. I wanted to get to the hood. I remember when I was about 10 years old, I asked my dad for some money. He went out and bought me a lawnmower. He said, if you want some money, you need to earn it. So I used to cut grass in my neighborhood, and I kept money. Plus, the beer store on the corner, Sonny's, they knew me and they knew my mama. I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but back then, my mama was drinking Black Label. You ever heard of that? Yeah, they don't know that about that. And she was drinking smoking Pale Ale and drinking Black Label, Pale Ale without the filter. So I would go up to Sonny, and I'm like 12 years old, and I tell Sonny, my mama sent me up here, she's sick, she can't come. She said, will you send her a 6-pack? Then he would give me the 6-pack. My dad was gone a lot. My dad, he retired a few years back, had 38 years with the military, 30 years with the post office. He did 8 years active, 30 years reserve, 30 years with the post office. Command Sergeant Major in the Army, and he ran a house like a boot. Have you guys ever heard of Pool Creek in Plunkett Town? Yeah, who? You know where the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport is? It was real small back then. That area was called Plunkett Town and Pool Creek. Well, 90% of that area was my family. Also, I have to say, my great-grandfather was white. My great-grandmother was black and Cherokee Indian. So they had 17 children, and my grandmother was mixed. And she married a black man, they had 15 children. So we were like people of all races and, But look, my family had, my grandmother and they had a different belief system. And y'all probably can't relate to this either. But my mom didn't believe that beer was good for worms. Y'all ever heard that before? Believe that if I drank when I was little, I wouldn't want to drink when I got older. They would get me drunk. I'm 4 years old. They get me drunk, And my cousins smoking weed, they blowing me shotgun on weed, they teaching me cuss words. They thought it was funny, they had this little bitty kid, they thought it was funny. I'm cussing and high and everything. But when I grew up stealing their money and cussing them out, they didn't think that was real fun. So by the time I was 10, I had did everything. Acid, THC, mescaline, snorted a little coke. When I was in the 6th grade, I think I was like 12, my dad busted me with a quarter pound of weed. The first time he busted me, it had a lot of seeds in it, and we had a nice house, and I told him, I said, Dad, I want to be like you, I want to plant some flowers. So he gave it back. I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. The second time he caught me, the quality was a little better, if you know what I mean. It wasn't a whole lot of seeds. And I tried to run that same game on it. He didn't believe me because I was looking so suspicious. And it was only an ounce that time. I had it in my pocket. And he took it across the street and asked the neighbor what it was. And my dad had heard of reefer. He had heard of weed. But when my neighbor said it was marijuana, he thought it was a big drug. He thought I had some heroin or something, He called the police, the fire department, everybody came. And he told him my son got a big bag of dangerous drugs, and and he was just so excited. They came. And look, this is the funny part. I mean, nothing really funny about it, but when they came, I remember I was sitting on the couch. The police come busting through the door with the gun, right? They was like, where you at? And my dad said, there he is. And here it is, me 12, sitting on the couch. Come there, I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? And then he showed the police, the bag of weed. And the police just looked at it. And then the police said, well, we're going to take this and destroy it, and we're going to let you handle your son. I tried to grab that man by the arm.